Hi there. My name is Alan, team lead for the WonderTix CRM Computer Science Capstone Fall Winter Sequence of 2021. Our sponsor is Portland Playhouse. Portland Playhouse is a local theater company who have been putting on productions in the Portland area for over 14 years. Portland Playhouse uses enterprise software for event creation, ticket sales, and customer relationship management. Unfortunately, this enterprise software is very expensive, difficult to use, and difficult to teach to new people. To solve these problems, last year, a Capstone team put together a tool called WonderTix for event creation and ticket sales. They were successful in this task, but unfortunately, Portland Playhouse can't use this ticketing software without customer relationship management software that integrates well with it. To solve this problem, a new team, my team, was brought on to get started on this customer relationship management software. When complete, this software suite will be able to replace the enterprise software used by Portland Playhouse, saving them complexity, time in training, and expensive licensing fees. This has never been done before at Portland State. There hasn't been a Capstone team who has continued the work of a previous team. So this is a new and exciting endeavor at Portland State University. We were tasked with breaking ground on this new initiative, starting on this customer relationship management software and making as much progress as possible, and then passing it along to another team.
Hi, my name is Shane. And first, I'd like to start off by giving a demonstration of the reporting feature of the WonderTix CRM. Hello, my name is Shane, and this is the WonderTix CRM. I'm going to demonstrate some of the features that we've been working on. Up in the top right-hand side of the navigation bar, there's some links to specific pages in the application. The first I'm going to demonstrate is the reporting tool. If we click on that, it'll take us to a page with a panel on the left-hand side and an empty table on the right. Clicking on the panel will expand a select menu with options that show us different tables in the database. Clicking on that will show us some of the filters exclusive to that table. In addition, there's a Save panel that I'll demonstrate later. So if we click on one and click Run without any filters applied, it'll show everyone in that table in a paginated format. You can adjust the number of rows and scroll the table after running the query. If we go into the headers, we can sort in ascending or descending order, or even apply one filter. Above that is a toolbar allowing you to adjust some of your preferences, such as changing the density of the rows, omitting some of the columns, and exporting to CSV. If we go back to the panel on the left-hand side, we can use a filter, such as searching for everyone named Felicia, and that pops up. If we want to search for everyone that's named Felicia and a VIP, we can apply multiple filters at once. The next thing I'll demonstrate is the saving query feature. If we want to look for everyone that has donated at least $9,000 since January 2022, we can click Save. After entering the filters, we can choose a name, submit that, go to the Save panel, and it'll be there. If we click Run after selecting the saved query, that will pop up all the people that meet that criteria. You can see I already have one here with everyone with Robert in their name. You can also delete these if the user would like to do that. Clicking on a person's name will take you to their specific profile. There's also a search bar at the top. so you can search for another person. This exists for both the accounts and contacts in the database. This is all the features that we've completed. Thank you for listening.
Hi there. Now I'll be giving a project overview. So WonderTix CRM is an in-progress web application that, when complete, will enable an organization to perform tasks related to reporting, task management, fundraising, and more features related to business operations. The user interface will be much more streamlined and easy to use compared to enterprise solutions, and users will have a clean and intuitive experience. This software is for small organizations looking to build and maintain long-lasting relationships with their customers and donors. Target audience assumptions. Regular users may be paid employees or volunteers. They'll have a normal level of technical sophistication. And the organization has limited time and resources to train users. Major features include reporting, task management, record management, and fundraising. First of all, reporting. Users can query organization's database for desired information. Report parameters can be customized and saved for future use. Reports can capture information collected from both ticketing side and CRM side. When fundraising functionality is ready, reports can be leveraged for targeted email campaigns. Task management. Users will be able to create and edit tasks. Tasks will have the option to be associated with other records. Timestamp notes will be used to record task progress. Users will be able to create subtasks. For example, a task of solicit donation from donor X could have a subtask of invite donor to next play or send a thank you note. Record management. Perform all create, read, update, and delete operations through the web interface. Records requiring management include those related to accounts, contacts, and tasks. Fundraising. Users will be able to create targeted fundraising campaigns by creating reports of potential donors, then having solicitation emails sent to them. Additional features and tasks. The WonderTix ticketing and CRM suite is an ambitious project, and there is still much work to be done. On the CRM side, there's task management, fundraising, database migration, hosting, ongoing support, and more. Ticketing, additional work includes cancellation and refunds, adding different ticket types, and accepting donations.
Hello, my name is Arman, and I'm going to be talking about architecture. So first off, WonderTix is designed around what we call a Pern stack. So our database is based on Postgres. Our backend for our server is based on an Express framework. Our front end is derived from React.js, and all of this is wrapped within a Node.js environment. And as far as how we've utilized this architecture and built on it in this specific capstone, we've compounded our database that we inherited from the ticketing side with new test data, namely donations that we've been able to use on the CRM side of things. And our backend foundation is nearly complete. Some big things left are record management, authentication. Those are the big ones, namely, but reporting has been pretty much done. Fundraising also needs to be done, but the basis is all there for future teams to build up on. And now this diagram shows a holistic view of WonderTix. So at the heart of it is the previously mentioned Postgres database from our parent stack. And this allows all the three major components of WonderTix to communicate with each other. To the left is the ticketing side, which is the most customer-facing side of WonderTix. This is where normal people will be able to buy tickets for shows, donate money to Portland Playhouse, as well as subscribe for any newsletters that are assigned. Below that is administration, which we haven't really touched up on, neither has the previous Capstone team. This is something for future Capstone teams to expand upon, but on the administration side, you should be able to make different types of tickets as well as make events. And to the right is what we've been focusing on this term, which is the customer relationship management portion of WonderTix, or the CRM. And again, we've gotten the reporting down. You're able to do customer reports, you're able to save reports. Task management has been started upon, and fundraising hasn't been started, but all of the necessary components of fundraising, such as reporting, is all there. Whenever we get to making fundraising, such as a future Capstone team, you're going to be able to build out from what we already have built here in this Capstone from reporting, for example. And all of the front ends are the same. They use a React/Express to fuel them.
My name is Adam, and I'm going to talk briefly about our development process. For the fall term, we did not begin development. We had a lot of kind of one-time checklist tasks that we had to accomplish. So some of our main focuses for the term were to understand the code from the previous team, create a plan for what we were going to develop, and learn how to make an open source project. For open source, things that we had to do were figure out the licensing, both relicensing the previous team's project and then creating a license for our own, creating an onboarding checklist for future contributors, as well as documentation for contributing guidelines and conventions. We also had to browse through the previous team's code to find out what works and what doesn't work. And then we also created a plan to create a standalone CRM application that uses the same database as the previous team, as shown in the previous slides. For the winter term, that's where we actually began development. And so this consisted of 2-week sprints, which depended on which feature we were working on. And we had weekly meetings with the sponsor to demo our progress and get feedback. And then weekly team meetings to discuss amongst ourselves what was going well, what was not going well, and any roadblocks we were running into. And then we also used Discord for ongoing communication as necessary. And for our feature cycle, we began by creating a prototype, which we would then show to the sponsor to get their approval. And if we needed, we would make changes and then bring it back to them with as many iterations as necessary in order to get something that they were really happy with. And then once we had their approval, we could begin development. And once development was over, then we would end by presenting that specific feature to the sponsor.
I'm Jesse, here to talk about responsibilities of our team members. First, our team lead, Alan, dealt with sponsor communications, meeting weekly to share development and get feedback, as well as task management for our team. The front-end team of Shane and Tony worked on the user interface, designing sketches, and once approved, writing the front-end code. On our back-end team, Adam built the API and query builder for reports, which is the interface allowing the front end to obtain data from the back end. Arman investigated authentication with Passport, which will allow users to log in securely. Danny wrangled with Stripe integration, which is the payment processing system on the ticketing side. And I worked on database design, writing scripts and tables, and to add tables to the CRM and creating data for testing. We all contributed to documentation on the open source project, the wiki, the docs for the build, and the continuous Capstone project. pass it off to Danny.
All right, thank you. So for unexpected events, no project is immune to unforeseen issues and obstacles, and our capstone was no exception. One major setback we faced throughout the course of this capstone was overall team health. All of us at some point got sick, in some cases multiple times, and often for several days at a time. Naturally, this affected our timeline, delaying some milestones and forcing us to work a bit extra to compensate. Aside from the productivity loss, this also impaired our ability to coordinate as a team, since we were not at full strength for several meetings. Another issue we did not foresee was the number of technical challenges and obstacles that we would need to address up front. Just to get the website hosted and working required database tools and a database we didn't have. Of course, we've been able to progress since then and have gotten results, but we've also run into security and authentication complexity, which is not something any of us expected or have experience with. Lastly, we had some unexpected needs to pivot and change course that we did not consider up front. As a result, we've had to spend extra time soliciting feedback outside of scheduled meetings due to design changes that we would come up with. This could sometimes require us to wait to start a task or make progress. And that's it for our high-level view of unexpected events.
Hi, I'm Tony, and I will share the lessons that we learned during this capstone project. First thing is teamwork. Teamwork makes dream work. We came a long way since our first meeting at Capstone. Everyone's helped each other. Each of us has our own task. That is an essential part of the project. We could not have what we got if this is not teamwork. When a problem occurs, there's always someone to help. Second one is the communication. There is a lot of emails back and forth between the stakeholders. It takes time because we have different schedules. For that, we learn to be patient, be nice, and listen to each other. Third one is the weekly meeting. It is a chance for us to chat about our week. We learn to be honest, to be helpful, share that you know that might help other people, and have fun doing the project. We also learn about documenting, the concept of agile development, some new technologies that we have never used, and the new ideas that we never thought of. Lastly is the changing situations. COVID is still around. We had to change from in-person to fully remote. Some of our team members got sick and we need some time off. We cannot prevent that. Therefore, we learned to manage our time, to plan beforehand, and to make a backup plan whenever we need it. The project is so good so far, in my opinion. It is ready to give out to the next team. That's all I have. Back to Alan.
So we've received some very promising feedback from Brian, the artistic director at Portland Playhouse. The overlapping of the two capstone projects and handover was and is also a huge success of this model. We can already see how knowledge is being passed and shared successfully. We believe this approach can and will lead to a successful and large-scale product that will be a large benefit to Portland Playhouse. And finally, a special thanks to Portland Playhouse, which includes Brian, Haley, and Ayana, who were instrumental in getting us all the information that we needed to create them the software that they need. Also, a special thanks to Bruce Irwin of Portland State University, who the director of the Capstone program of computer science. Also, a special thanks to the original WonderTix team, who did an outstanding job creating the event and ticket sales software and setting a great foundation for us to continue. And also a special thanks to the next WonderTix team, who have already gotten started and are ready for us to pass the torch to them to make sure the software continues on its successful trajectory. All right, that's all we have for you today. Thank you for listening.